Hello and welcome to Cooking with Craig. Today's going to be a little special. First, because this is a recipe that you've probably never seen before because I came up with all of this myself. Second of all, because I'm adding a little bit of a challenge to this. So to like Rob and Corinne at Threadbanger, to Barry at My Virgin Kitchen, and to JP and Julia at Healthy Junk Food. I've done it. Now let's see you do it. JP, how about you put this inside of something else? Rob, come up with the ultimate cocktail to go with it when you're making it. Barry, throw that spicy England spin on this thing. Anyway, today we're making the deep fried Coke burger, hashtag not sponsored. We're going to start with making the condiment that goes with it. It's going to be a Coke aioli, hashtag not sponsored. It's very simple, 5 ingredients. And aioli is a fancy way of saying mayo mixed with some other stuff, really. So this is 1 cup of mayo, regular mayonnaise, nothing special there. And we're going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1.5 tablespoons, sorry. Yeah, note on the screen, it actually says it right, of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and I think 4 tablespoons of Coke, hashtag not sponsored. And we're just going to take that, we're just going to whisk that all together. Now go slow with this because the mayo is going to take us a little bit to combine, and if you do it too fast you're going to slosh stuff all over the table. I mean, you'd have to get some vegetarian mayo, but other than that, I mean, this is probably doable, I would think. Simple matter of whisking that up until it all combines and gets smooth. And you taste that. You should get a bit of a bite, and you should be able to taste that subtle flavor of Coke, hashtag not sponsored. And if you've got that right, then you know that this part is done. It's simple. Anybody could do it. It's 5 ingredients. Simple stuff. Okay, so we're going to put that in the fridge and leave it to cool until we're ready to put it on the burgers later. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to mix up the batter. This is what we're going to deep fry the Coke burgers in, hashtag not sponsored. A couple more ingredients in that. We will start with 1 cup of cornmeal, 1 cup of flour, and there's 5 ingredients here. It's baking powder, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. So all those ingredients, you're gonna give them a little shake to mix them together. So you're gonna mix those together just a little bit here. I find that it's a little easier to combine dry ingredients if you mix all the dry ingredients first, without having to worry about them clumping up. Especially the flour clumping into wads, so you don't quite get it all blended as well as possible. And now we're going to go 2 cups of Coke. I'm going to add it like about a third of it at a time. Take it slowly. It's going to foam up. It's Coke, hashtag not sponsored. There's something about this particular beverage that just seems to work really well in this recipe. And it's a simple recipe to do. It's going to get complicated later when we do the deep frying. I happen to have access to an actual deep fryer. If you don't have one, you're going to be doing the big pot of oil method. And if you do that, try not to deep fry your fingers. This is going to seem a little thin right now, as you're we're doing this ahead of time before the burgers are ready. So this is going to thicken up as you leave it. So don't be thinking, oh no, that batter is way too runny. It's too runny. It's not going to work. Give it some time. And again, we're just stirring this to make sure all the ingredients are fully combined. Scrape across the bottom to make sure that everything is getting mixed there and you're not leaving anything behind. Again, simple stuff. This is simple batter. It's based on your standard cornmeal batter recipe, really. So if you've seen that, if you've already done cornmeal batter in the past, you'll have an easy time of this. I can really smell that Coke hashtag not sponsored flavor coming off this as you go, which is, it's nice when you're smelling nice things in the kitchen. So in this, we will not refrigerate, but we will just set it aside, leave the spoon with it, because it's going to thicken up, so we're going to have to stir it a little bit later. So there's one question, like, we're making deep fried Coke burgers, hashtag not sponsored. Where are those burgers, man? So we'll get that. We'll get a nice big bowl here. So the ratio is very simple. And I apologize in advance, Barry. If you do try this, you're going to have to convert these over to the metric system, because even though we use metric here in Canada, it hasn't really seemed to translate to the kitchen yet. 1 pound of ground beef per half cup of Coke. So this is 3 3/4, so that's 1.875 cups. You can do the math and figure that out. So we're just gonna drop this stuff in here, all this ground beef, and make sure it mixes up. Get it all broken up. And as you go, again, get about 1/3 of that in there. Then we're going to add to it some of the Coke. And again, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know I advocate hands-on cooking. Just get in there and work it. Don't be looking for spatulas or anything like that. Just feel free to get your hands dirty. Just remember to wash your hands before and after, and that sort of thing. And as you can see, we're just sort of kind of loosely kneading it with my fingers. And we'll toss some more in. And again, also, you'll be able to smell the Coke hashtag not sponsored when you start doing this, and that's how you'll know you're doing it right. A note when you're grilling, remember, because you're adding a soft drink to this, it's adding a little bit of sugar, so that's going to change your cook time a little bit, because it's going to want to burn because of that sugar. So you're going to need to be a little extra careful when you grill, and we are going to grill these. I will take you outside to the grill for that step when we get there. We're going to, once we're finished with this, put it in the fridge for a while and let this marinate. I don't know, so just, I was so enamored of the pouring of the Coke, I forgot how to speak. So again, this is really not difficult. You're just working this together, and you'll feel the consistency is right. It's not wet or goopy. It's almost a doughy feel. It's a little different than the regular ground beef, obviously, because we've added something to it, but we're adding very little to it. It's just Coke hashtag not sponsored and ground beef. When we throw them on the grill, we will season them with some salt and pepper, but that's it. Nothing else. Just pure beef and cola flavor. And the end of the Coke hashtag not sponsored. So by the end of this video, everybody's going to be saying it along with me. It's a little scoochy. It will work in. Trust it. So I guess you could get some veggie patties, break them up into it, and do this. And is Coke vegetarian? I don't really know. I don't think there's any animal products anywhere in making that, so it should be all right. And if you used a vegetarian patty instead of the ground beef, there's the ground beef all done. As you see, it looks a little different than regular. It looks basically what ground beef does look like if you mush it up a lot. But it's had the Coke added to it. So we're going to put that in the fridge, sort of let that work for a while until we're ready to do everything on the grill and have the fryer ready for the deep frying bit. So back in a minute. The beef has been marinating in the Coke hashtag not sponsored for about an hour now. And I've got the burger press out and some papers to press them all out. So you can make the burgers however you want, make the individually shaped however you like to. But I do them in a press mostly because when they're all uniform size and shape, they will all cook at the exact same speed. So I'm just showing you a couple here. So in case you're wondering, I weighed these out to 6 ounces each. Again, you can choose how big, how small, how thick your patties are going to be. That is up to you. We're going to take these out now and throw them on the grill, because if you were to just batter them and throw them in the deep fryer, the batter would be perfect and the burger would be uncooked, or the burger would be cooked and the batter would be like really dark brown, burned to crap. So we're going to cook them we're going to pre-cook them on the grill, not all the way cooked, just so they're about a medium rare. And then we'll come back in here and finish them off, okay? Okay, so here we are at the grill. It's a simple matter of peeling out the paper, putting the patties on the grill. There are a bunch of us here today. That's one reason why I've done so many. I've got a dozen here. You don't need to do that many for yourself. Or maybe you do. You never know. Again, you should be able to smell that, some of that Coke flavor. Hashtag not sponsored. Yeah. I can only fit that many on right now. So this is just a blend of salt and pepper. And that will go on each side once. Don't need to overdo it on that. This is on medium-high heat. And I know, exciting, scintillating, that's okay. We'll cut out all the boring bits. So ideally you want to do maybe about minute and a half, quarter turn, minute and a half. Flip it over, the same again on the other side. That should be done enough to take in to do the next step. You can also get a meat thermometer and check the internal temperature if it's around 155, 160. Now these have come off the grill and they've allowed to cool a little bit. We're going to dredge them first, which is a fancy and shorter way of saying coat them in flour. And then we have the batter that we made here earlier. And we're going to just coat them in the batter. Let it drain off. Now instead of letting it just drop in, putting it on the rack, you take it and you drop it in slowly, just sort of wave it back a little bit and forth to let the bit to go and just let it go in there. And then it doesn't stick at all. But if you do that wrong, you could burn your fingers with oil. So, you know, do that at your own risk. I told you you shouldn't do it. Bun of choice. I'm gonna pop that open. You're gonna put that on there. We're going to take some of that Coke aioli that we made earlier. Remember that stuff? It's all nice and thick. I'm just going to take some of that and drizzle that on top. And there you have it. That is the deep fried Coke burger. So there's Coke in the meat, there's Coke in the batter, there's Coke in the aioli. And I know what you're wondering. Yeah, but does it taste good? That is so good. The beef is perfectly tender. The flavor of Coke comes through and the aioli is just the right kick to it. Try it. See you next time. Oh, hi, you caught me in between recipes here. Just wanted to be a couple things to show you. So how about like this? That's right. Now we have Cooking with Greg merch for you to get. Hey, maybe I'm thirsty. I could use something. That's not it. That's the trophy for winning 4th place in the provincial Works Canadian Master Chef. Can't. Well, I suppose you could drink out of that, but really, put that over there. So really, I have to use something to drink. Look at that! We have glasses too. So now you finish watching the video, head on over to the merch store and pick up some stuff and represent. Do it. See you next time.